Growing up, animals were always my safe space. So wherever I moved, the first thing I would do is go outside and see what I'm surrounded by. I was drawn by the resilience and the different birds, and the agriculture is so different. So it's always been more interesting for me because I feel like your environment changes the people as well. Whenever I do feel any kind of loneliness, I just go out hiking, go out in nature, and it just gets rid of it immediately. Each piece is layered with stories, research, emotion, and intention. It's not just an animal, it's being whose home is shrinking, whose kind is disappearing. It's kind of bringing out that story of each subject. So I try to paint not just what they look like, but what they feel like. These are visual records of moments. It's kind of like their voice, me giving them a voice and a cause that might otherwise go unheard.
If you have ever wanted to understand why we should try asking for nature's help on mindsets, adventures, and more, then you're in the right place. So, welcome to Maximise Nature. Today's guest is Ash Rader. She is an artist based in Atlanta who portrays her love for nature through her incredible artwork. Ash was born with a love for nature like many of you. Since the world hit a pause in 2020 for an obvious reason, she has gone on to pursue her passion of art and has since collaborated with schools and museums to ensure the importance of wildlife conservation really hits home. If you've ever wanted to know why so many people are in awe of nature, then look no further than Ash's artwork. Her art portrays the beauty of the natural world and encapsulates what it means to experience nature through art, a topic we will uncover more in this episode. We're going to delve into the thought process behind her portfolio, as well as how she thinks nature-based art can inspire people like you and me. Then, we can take the good thoughts and put them in a travel bag, ready to use on our next adventure. So with that, here is episode 14 of the Maximise Nature Podcast. Hope you guys all enjoy. First of all, thank you so much, Ash, for coming on. I know how busy you are, especially with the time differences, and how much of a panic it was to sort out.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Max. It's a pleasure to be here to be able to talk about the things I'm passionate about. So it's awesome to be here. Thank you.
You're more than welcome anytime. Ash, can you give the listeners a little bit of background into who you are and what you do?
Of course. I am a wildlife artist, an educator, and conservation advocate. I create very large-scale paintings that celebrate the strength and spirit of animals, typically black and white paintings, and I often focus on those in peril. I also work with students to help them build confidence in their own artistic voice, but mainly I'm trying to create as many wildlife animals as I can to bring them out there and inspire people to appreciate our nature and also art more. So my art's a way of bringing people closer to wildlife emotionally, especially those who've never had a chance to see them in the wild.
That is absolutely perfect, and I definitely agree with it being so important for people, especially those young kids, really being influenced and being sort of not pushed but encouraged into experiencing nature.
Definitely.
Why do you think art and still imagery is essential to the future of wildlife and outdoor exploration?
Well, because art makes people feel. We can show footage, statistics, but imagery has it's still and it's quite powerful. It freezes a moment, and I believe it invites people to kind of slow down and connect with them emotionally. It also helps turn animals from distant creatures into individuals that are worth fighting for. So I believe that still imagery can make conservation pretty personal. And once it's personal, people start to actually care in real, lasting ways.
I think that's a really interesting point, especially considering everybody I've interviewed. It is that personalization and that linkage that really draws out, and I guess for you, the real importance of it, but also to link it back to nature, everyone's experience in the wild and outdoors will be different. No two are the same. It's like a snowflake, for example. So I think it's really cool what you do and how and what your message and ideas are behind it.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. It is really different. I mean, when you're inside watching videos of nature versus using all your senses being out experiencing it, it's a whole nother feeling. And it really does change your brain chemistry.
Coming from someone who likes to draw art, but someone who's not really experienced art in the way that you have, it's certainly a really interesting insight. Definitely for me and for everybody who's listening.
Thank you. That's awesome. It's good to
You
have
might-
that impact on people, you know? I want people to create more because there are a lot of people who are scared to, attempt a drawing or a painting, even though they have this feeling that they want to try, but you got to dig in. You got to just go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. What are some of the challenges you have faced when trying to portray the perfect representation of nature's beauty? And how has this changed since you started?
Well, early on, when I first started, I thought I had to be accurate to be powerful and get my point across. So it was really just about technique and trying to get accuracy. But nature isn't just about precision. It's about your soul, its energy, movement. Over time, I stopped chasing the perfection because the technical skill, it's there, but I focused more on the emotional accuracy. I removed color entirely because it's a good way to kind of focus and getting rid of all distractions. The pieces feel more more intimate and as if you're right there and being able to connect emotionally and just kind of appreciate the animal itself. It carries the same weight and the shift changed everything for me. It is more about the emotion and trying to create an impact and get through to people instead of just saying, "Hey, here's a really cool hyper realistic image of this elephant," or it's kind of I want to bring an essence to them.
That's something everybody listening can really draw on, pardon the pun, but they can really draw on because it's not going through life. It's not about, being perfect all the time. It's about putting what you feel is right out there. And I feel that you are doing that through your artwork, as well as anyone else who's listening. You don't have to be perfect as long as you try. And I feel that this whole message of trying is what nature and being out in it is really all about, if that makes sense.
It is. That's exactly it. I mean, nothing is perfect. Everything is always changing, evolving, and growing, and that's what life is about.
What inspired you to chase your passion of art, and why was nature and animals what you wanted to focus on?
Well, I've always felt more at home being outside than being at home. I've always traveled all my life as well. There's a term called military brat, is where you are dependent from a military family. So we travel all the time. And it's not a
fair.
great term, a brat, but I tend to
No.
call myself military brat. But growing up, animals were always my safe space. So wherever I moved, the first thing I would do is go outside and see what I'm surrounded by. I was drawn by the resilience and the different birds, and the agriculture is so different. So it's always been more interesting for me because I feel like your environment changes the people as well. So everywhere it's vastly different and just makes the world so interesting. Art became that bridge that connected that love to people, and I realized I could use that skill to speak for the voiceless and give form to something wild and endangered, and hopefully inspire action and make people to want to go outside and pay more attention.
That makes a lot of sense. If you don't mind me asking, whereabouts were you based, if that's the right term?
Of course. I was born in Hawaii, and I do have early memories of the marine life over there. And I grew up most of my life in Korea, but I always moved in different sub-cities in Korea. I also lived in Puerto Rico. I was in Florida, and I've been in Georgia for just almost as long as I have been in Korea now. So those are the main places, but the biggest impact for me were definitely the differences between Hawaii, Korea, and Puerto Rico. Those are all big culture shocks. And the animals are vastly different.
Yeah. No, I can imagine, especially coming from so at uni I did physical geography, which kind of looks at ecosystems, wildlife and that. And even between Wales and England, the wildlife isn't too different, but it still is, and it's maybe half an hour drive away. But
Mhm.
I think what's really important to draw on from your point was that your upbringing was key to you being sort of, I guess, encouraged to really go and push that want to really make an impact, especially in the wildlife industry.
Yes. Yes, it definitely impacted me greatly. I mean, if I didn't have that love for nature and being out and appreciate it, I probably wouldn't be painting today. So it's pretty amazing how we just kind of fall into things.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. For context, my background is, so I'm one of three children, and luckily enough, my mum retired when she had my sister,
Mhm.
so she was able to take us to different places across the UK and really dig into that sort of outdoors experience. Like I would
Mhm.
be doing sailing, athletics, all of
Yeah.
the outdoor sports, and I really think that's helped me and molded me into what I'm doing today. And I can definitely say that if I didn't have that, I would not be doing a podcast, because I wouldn't have
Mhm.
had that sort of trigger to want to make an art form out of a camera, a
Mhm.
laptop, and a script. And
Yeah.
most importantly, a voice. What would you say is the best thing about having conversations with artists and other admirers of not only your work, but the outdoors, and about wildlife conservation and at the outdoors itself?
Well, there's kind of a shorthand, a shared reverence where the conversations go beyond art or technique. I also get inspirations and ideas from other people, artists themselves. You realize that you're not alone in trying to protect something bigger than yourself. It's pretty energizing. So every time I talk to somebody who truly sees the value of wildlife, I feel more hopeful, but also the love for art. I mean, the more I talk to people and see what, lights up their eyes, their interests and everything, it kind of builds a fire within me too, to try to create that feeling for others as well. So I get a lot of inspiration from talking to other people and gives me ideas. I can't think of everything on my own. I got to see what, other people love as well and what they hope to see and what makes them happy. So it's really important to have these conversations with all these other artists and wildlife conservationists. I mean, I have to keep learning. We're always learning.
The outdoors itself holds a lot of lessons for different people, not just your youngsters,
Mm-hmm.
your adults and your grandparents, etc. But it's all about really getting out there and experiencing new things, learning new things of new people. Because the
Yep.
world would be a pretty lonely place if we didn't have nature, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
And what's funny is that whenever I do feel any kind of loneliness, I just go out hiking, go out in nature, and it just gets rid of it immediately.
yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. For me, sometimes I have a really long day at work. It's normally a Tuesday because it's always a Tuesday. Um, and I would just go out and hit the track, which
Hmm.
is my way of just de-stressing, being outside, being
Yeah.
with different people. It's just so much fun, and I think being outdoors is probably the biggest life hack known to humankind.
It is. It really is. And for your health too, mind, body, and soul.
Why do you, aside from obviously health for mind, body, and soul, like you were saying, why do you think more people need to understand that the imagery that you create is a lot more than just a painting on canvas?
Well, because each piece is layered with stories, research, emotion, and intention. It's not just an animal, it's being whose home is shrinking, whose kind is disappearing. It's kind of bringing out that story of each subject. So I try to paint not just what they look like, but what they feel like. These are visual records of moments. It's kind of like their voice, me giving them a voice and a cause that might otherwise go unheard. It's a quiet way to bring them out, but I feel like the imagery it's important and it's important and bringing that emotion. I think it is something that we need in the world. A lot of if everybody's very visual, and I think trying to connect that is something that I think is important.
What I drew from that anyway was the power of being in the moment and really expressing not only your feelings, but how you interpret the animals would feel
Hmm.
and do feel whenever their habitats or anything is shrinking, is experiencing change. So
Hmm.
it's really trying to link between humanity and animals, even though we are humans. We should really be more alike, but
Yes.
yeah. What are some of the challenges you have faced when trying to choose what to portray next?
Ooh, it is. So I will say the hardest thing for me to start a painting is choosing the subject and how I'm going to get it started. Because, I mean, the beginning is the most important part of every painting. I care deeply about so many species, but I ask myself, what needs to be seen right now? What story isn't being told? Is there an animal that is not being heard or not getting enough attention or actually really needs help? Those are a lot of different factors when I get started. And sometimes it could just be as simple as, all right, it could be a textural thing. So I have all these different furs going on. I really want to get into the skin and the bone and all that. So there are so many challenges. It's all of that at once. So trying to find that perfect image and knowing that this is going to do justice for this animal, that's the biggest challenge.
That does sound challenging. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's challenging. When I get started, I could flow. It's great. I can have fun with it, play some music, I know what's happening, but it's that initial start because I'm like trying to capture something.
Just out of interest, what is the sort of music you would paint to, if you don't mind me asking?
Absolutely. Okay, so I listen to all kinds of music. They're all great, but what helps me paint the most is something without lyrics. The reason is...
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so I like a lot of classical, but also just lo-fi or even jam bands or anything without lyrics, because once there's lyrics, I'll start dancing and start getting distracted, and my ADHD starts hitting, and I'm doing other things.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yep.
I'm the same. Whenever I'm editing, if I'm listening to like, I don't know, Afrobeats, but Afrobeats with like lyrics, then my mind would just go. I will just flow, and it's so much easier to edit. I think what the kind of link between like the way I do it and the way you do it is we both just find what we do and what we love doing really relaxing. Yes. Who or what inspired you to go out and explore what's beyond your front door in an art sense? If that makes sense to you.
Yes, it makes sense. So honestly, it was curiosity, a bit of restlessness, but also being in Korea, I didn't have many channels. So I've had Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, and of course, Steve Irwin was my hero of all time. I thought I was going to be wrestling alligators by the time I'm 30. Not kidding, Max. I wanted to be that person, but I still follow the Irwin family. But that really just made me realize people are like me. They love animals. They want to save. When I saw that, it really made me dream. So there's a realization that there's a whole world out there operating with or without us. And I want to be part of it. I want to be in there. I don't want to just be an observer. I want to explore it. And this dog is trying to kiss me.
Aww.
But the more I explored, the more I felt called to use what I saw and felt to say something meaningful.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, it's Stephen Robert Owen, isn't it? Yeah, I did try and get him on the podcast, but I literally emailed Australia Zoo, and they were like, "Sorry, he's too busy." I'm like, "Okay, I'll ask a couple months. See what happens."
It's okay. He'll come around.
So if you're watching or listening, Robert, you know what to do.
Call us.
But exactly. I think what's really important in what you said there is, again, that theme of getting out and really being, I don't know, cool to what you want to do. The same way I'm cool to this podcast and media industry. It's just about expressing, like you said, through your art, your feelings, your wants. Because realistically, the same way you want to create a story or create an imagery, I want to do the same with my scripts. So it's all about, essentially, for everyone listening, doing what you want to do and just going for it.
Absolutely.
And I feel like nature and the outdoors definitely teaches you that.
It does. And it's there waiting for you. You have to go out and explore it. I mean, being inside, it's just not healthy.
No,
You
it's
need to
not.
be inspired. It's not.
Mm.
Not. You gotta open up your mind, and the sunshine will do that for you. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still being inspired today. There's so many things happening in the world right now, and another recent person who I've connected with is Dr. Neil McCann, and he and I
He's been
decided
on.
to kind of work together and try to merge art and conservation and do something bigger to try to help the African elephants and helping the national parks out there. Of course, our last remaining true natural
Mm.
national park is in Africa, and it's being
Mm.
completely overrun by poachers and all these terrible people. Just, it's just very self-serving, don't care about the nature and the impact that these animals have. And it's just, consume, doing what they want. And I feel like more people need to understand what's happening. And people like that, actually taking action and reaching out to people. And Dr. McCann reached out to me, and it's so inspirational that I want to really just explore, get out of my studio and do more. So
Mm.
it's always
It's
happening. So
definitely.
I'm always being inspired.
Yeah. I definitely feel like, especially being inspired to do something, is
Mhm.
probably what makes difference between not getting there and getting there. And
Yeah.
especially with Dr. Niall McCann, who I've also had on my podcast, and really listening to what he has to say
Hmm.
is also really inspiring for me. And for anyone listening, go and check out that episode after you listen to this one, because it is a really good one. But
Hmm.
anyway, back to the point. I think the word inspiration is the key to the outdoors and really experiencing what not necessarily is meant for you, but what is essentially the most important thing about the outdoors, just being inspired to go and do stuff.
Hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Inspiration is key for all aspects in life.
Mm.
Gotta be a dreamer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What is it about creating with nature that makes it so addictive? And is there any starter kit, or is it just a case of starting?
It's the unpredictability. You just gotta jump in. You gotta just start. There is no starter kit, because if you're waiting for a whole kit and tutorial, I mean, you're gonna be scared to start. It's scary regardless. So you just gotta jump in. But the light changes, the wind shifts, you're never in control. And that's a gift. It reminds me to surrender and respond rather than to dictate. So, as for starting, no, you don't need a perfect setup. Just go outside with a sketchbook or camera and look longer. Just let the wonder lead you, and the rest will follow.
I definitely agree that it's just about going out and experiencing it, really getting amongst it, that is
Hmm.
sort of the key to everything that we want to go and do. And yeah, it might take that little bit longer, but like you
Hmm.
said, if you stare that little bit longer,
Hmm.
everything will become real, because time and everything does change.
Yes, it
Like,
does.
it's just about really making the most out of every moment, essentially.
Hmm. Hmm. And a lot of people just need that aha moment. And it can be as simple as just seeing something outside. So
Hmm.
it's always important.
It's so, so important. What for you was that aha moment? Like, do you remember a specific one, or?
So I don't have a very specific moment, but I feel like my aha moment of what I'm supposed to be doing, it happened several moments. I have several of those moments. So my first one as a young child, and I had an aha moment as an adult. So my first aha moment is when I was painting and just doing what I want, but my mom really recognized that I did have a gift and I have a skill, and she wanted to help me just hone in on that gift. So she tried to take me to all kinds of different workshops and classes and schools in Korea, but luckily we ran into the right people that are honest, and they actually care about the growth of each person. So there are several teachers that said, "Hey, I don't want her to stay in these classes because we're just going to destroy her wonder, her dream, and her just willing to create, because everything is so just
systematic.
Exactly. It's so
Yeah.
systemized, and it's telling you step by step of how to do things. But I mean, art is it's such a free subject. It's so subjective. How can you teach somebody exactly? I mean, I am actually an educator myself, and I mentor some students. And the way I teach them is I want you to do what makes you happy, you know, what makes you happy, basically. So for me, when I realized, all right, none of this is making me happy, I went outside, and one day I used to ride horses as a child. So visited the barn, and I just, without anybody telling me what to do, I actually took my time, did my drawings, and created a whole series in a sketchbook. And that was my aha moment. You know what? I'm supposed to do what I want to do, what makes me happy. And that was just as a child. But right now, as an adult, my aha moment was about probably 5 years ago when I painted the first painting that started this was a black and white lion. And it was another quiet moment where I lost my job, and I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually do something that makes me happy. I haven't done this in years. So I did, and I spent a lot of time on this. I did nothing but invested in myself during that process, and I posted it, and the response was so great that I thought, oh, this is actually what I'm supposed to be doing. So that was my second aha moment. And now I just wanted to, it's ever since that aha moment, I thought I can do more. It's always, I can do more, and why not me? So that's been my motto ever since.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point to try and bring across to the people listening. Like everyone, like I was saying earlier, everyone's experiences out in nature will be different, but I guarantee you'll have more aha moments, as it were, outdoors than you will inside. Like one of my favorite ones was when was it? 2023, when I went traveling after uni, and I thought it'd be a great idea to jump out of a plane, so I did that. And then as I jumped out, I'm like, oh shit, go on. Because there is nothing more freeing than pelting yourself towards the ground.
Those are great moments, though, aren't they?
Now, Ash, for the listeners, when you finished your favorite piece, what do you remember about that moment? But I take it one of your favorite pieces was the lion, or is there one that tops that even?
Well, there's one that is very recent. I haven't showed anybody yet. I just finished it. So there's this moment. I just finished this massive elephant painting, and it's going to be for a fundraiser. And I stepped back, hands covered in paint and everything. And I mean, it was this painting, I've never spent too long on a painting, and this is one I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with it. So this elephant has been on my wall for like 2 years almost. Didn't know what I want to do with it. So, but the fact that I actually completed it, and I stepped back, and I was pretty quiet, but all I could hear was my heartbeat, like, oh my gosh, is this actually done? But I remember thinking that's exactly why I'm there. I captured something raw and real, and the presence of the animal is in the room with me. And I feel like what made it feel more like that is because this is the reason I am doing this is in this painting, and this painting is going to save elephants, and that's what I want to do. I'm gonna
exactly. Yep. I'll let you carry on.
Well, the fundraising thing, I'm trying to, each animal is going to represent a specific nonprofit or some kind of rescue group or charity. Right now, I'm focusing a lot on the African elephants and National Park Rescue and our fundraiser Defend with Dr. McCann. But this is going to be one of the first ones, and I feel like this may be another aha moment. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, especially with how like awesome elephants are, like just the power and like the impressed at your own ability.
So it's funny is that while I'm painting, when I first start, I never think of myself as like, oh, I am a great painter. I can do this. I'm capable. Well, yeah, I do tell myself I'm capable. I can do this. But what I tell everybody, even my students, I say, you're not going to like your painting until the last 5 minutes. Even if it's something you worked on for a year, you're going to go through so many emotions. You're going to go through it, maybe, moments of turmoil. There'll be moments you want to destroy the painting. I mean, it really, you go through all of it when I go through these paintings, but then it's that after experiencing that and the anger and frustration, it's that last 5 minutes and that final touch that makes me stand back and go, oh my gosh, I was capable. Like I am capable. And when I complete it, it's like a sacred exchange. Like I did it.
Yeah, exactly. I think what I can sort of link that to every outdoor experience, it's sort of the fact, well, for me, I've just run a marathon, back in May. So I loved the first part of it. First part of it was fine. Second half, I wanted to just stop and like take a chill. But then when I reached like the finish line, or in your sense, the final brush marks, as it were, and I was like, nice.
Yeah.
I've actually done it, and I've spent so much time trying to do it that it's actually come to fruition. And I think that's a really important thing to take out, to take and try and compare with any outdoor experience.
Yes.
You may hate trying to plan it, like trying to find the time to get out and explore what's beyond your front door, which is why it's my phrase, and really just hate trying to get it all together, get it ready. But actually, when you're doing it, and then when you look back on the memories, on the different things you've had to do to get where you wanted it to be or have that experience, and go like, I'm glad I did that. And I think that's a really important message to try and get across through any medium, through art, through experience, through podcasting, through athletics. Let's go.
It is. It's that moment of feeling accomplished. It's you did the thing, you went through it, and it was worth it. I think it's the fact that it was worth it that makes it so amazing at the end.
For me, anyway, listening to you, it would be what you just described would be quite a sweet moment. Are you ready to play a game? Are you ready to play a game called The Sweet Truths?
Sweet Truths. Okay.
Your task is to tell me 3 things, 1 truth and 2 falsehoods, about a time you've either been painting a picture or trying to get inspiration from it. What I need you to do is tell me 1 thing that happened and 2 things that didn't happen, as like a 1 truth, 2 lies, and I have to pick the truth.
Oh.
Otherwise, you win.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a big one on the spot. Gotta really think about this. Okay. All right. So, one time while painting, I spent about 20 hours into this painting and just decided it's not worth it and completely erased it. 2, in the middle of painting, I've had a collector come in and tell me what I am painting is not something that I should continue with, and told me an animal that they suggested. Another one, when I was trying to figure out what to paint, I thought about this painting for a while, but then I came across an animal just 5 minutes before and completely changed my mind.
Okay, so what was the first one?
So the first one, I was 20 hours into a painting, very close to completion, and then I just changed my mind and erased it, blacked it out.
What was the third one?
The third one is I went into the studio with an intention of painting a specific animal, thought about this for a while, but then just 5 minutes before approaching the studio, I came across another animal and completely changed my mind.
And what was the second one?
So the second one is I was painting and I've had a collector come in and when I was getting started, suggest that wasn't the animal that anybody's really going to purchase, and they gave me their suggestion instead.
And what did you do in that situation?
I just appreciate their suggestion and say, I will put that into the next one. I'll put that in my queue.
Yeah. We've all had moments like that.
It really is about how you handle it, because I want to keep these people as collectors, right? Yeah, fully. Is that artwork now published, the one that they suggested, or is it not? Is it published? Is it the one they suggested? No, it is not.
Yeah, what was the animal you went with?
The animal I went with is a longhorn. It's a cow with really long horns. You should look
Okay.
them up. It's actually really wild. I don't know how
I'll have
they survive in the wild, honestly.
I'll have a quick look.
I don't think they can. I mean, they would get stuck in trees. I mean, some
Yeah.
of them, while they're walking, I mean, they're not always symmetrical either. So one side could be more heavy, and then it kind of alters their muscular structure too. Every animal is so interesting, but I
Okay.
definitely when I get started on a subject, I have to research everything about them.
So I think the third one is one of the lies.
Correct.
I think, or do I have another question? What was the animal you decided not to draw in the end? So
In
the
the
first one.
end, oh, the first one, a raccoon.
I'm going to go with the second one as the truth.
Actually, it was the first one. Wow. I didn't think I was going to get that.
No, to be fair, it was just like you went into all the movements and stuff. I'm like, she cares a little bit too much about this animal not to think it's true.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. It is what it is.
Awesome. Hey, that was fun. Thank you.
No worries. No worries. That's all. One last task. Please write down or message me a nature-based phrase that I must get into my next episode without my guest knowing. And did you guess it or figure out the one I managed to fit into today?
Oh, man. The phrase that you got into today. Man, it may have gone over my head, but I'm assuming it has to do with inspiration and nature, being outside.
That's what the podcast is about, yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
so it's not that funny. Literally, it's like all we talked about. So I'm like, oh, what if I wanted? Let's see. I'm a goofball. I know. Let's see.
Same. We move.
No, it went over my head. I don't know what that phrase was.
Come on, let's go. The phrase was, drum roll please, the outdoors holds many lessons and answers for all of us.
You know, you've said a lot of like phrases that seemed like that was so natural.
Yeah, that's why I do it. That is why I do it.
Oh, you're very smooth with that.
Ash, thank you very much for joining us on the Maximise Nature podcast. I find your story and your insights into art incredibly inspiring. If you guys listening or watching at home would like to hear more, where can people find you?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah. Where can people find you and what projects have you been working on recently?
So people can find me on Instagram, of course. My Instagram is ARADERART, A Rader Art. My website is Rader Art Studios. And right now I'm working on many different projects, actually. I am really trying to get my feet are wet, but I got my feet in the door, but I'm really trying to get into conservation work. But my overall plan and goal is I want to travel the world. I want to save as many as I can. I mean, beyond just land, from land, sea, air, all the animals. And the biggest project right now would be Defend, and that's with National Park Rescue with Dr. McCann, and trying to be their advocate and trying to save as many elephants and rhinos and lions as possible. So that is my biggest project right now, and I feel like that needs all of its attention. So that would be the one that people will have to keep an eye out for, because I'm not just an artist. I'm going to be a conservationist, and I'm going to raise money to be able to save them. And by saving them, we are directly putting that money towards hiring rangers and actually being on the front line. So that is our biggest project right now. And that elephant painting I was telling you about is going to be one of them that's going to do its job by raising money to save them and protect them.
Ash, like I said before, thank you very much for joining us on the Maximise Nature podcast. I find your insight and your artworks and everything that you do really, really inspiring and really, really interesting. Until next time, get out and explore what's beyond your front door. And you might even learn more. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed that episode, then we have plenty more to offer you. You interested? From a conversation with Paralympic champion Dimitri Coutier about the power of being active, to incredible wildlife conversations and encounters with Dr. Niall McCann. Find out more by typing in the Maximise Nature podcast anywhere, and follow on Instagram at Maximise_nature, that's at Maximise_nature, for a chance not only to catch up on more episodes, but also maximise your midweek. Bye guys!